YouTube is making it easier for people to start making money, especially smaller channels. Well, I'm about to find out. This is going to be my third day posting every single day, long form content, just to test out the YouTube algorithm and see if it's really what people are claiming it to be. Following this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and leave his video and his channel in the description of this video so you can go check it out. Like, I have witnessed this myself. His name is, I think, Dante Launton, if I'm not mistaken. So I found him, I want to say about a week ago or less than a week ago. I can't really remember. So he had about 32,000 subscribers on his account when I found him. And I was like, I really have nothing to lose. I want to give YouTube a shot and see what we can do with it, right? As of this morning, when today is Saturday, the 28th of December, he has like over 36,000 subscribers. So, that could mean two things. Either he's very lucky or what he's saying is really true. And the YouTube algorithm is really favoring smaller YouTube channels. Like I had mentioned on my previous videos, I really have nothing to lose. I am a stay-at-home mom. I lost my job in September, and because of life, and I'm pregnant, I'm due in February. I can't really be looking for a job right now. I wanted to focus on social media so that way I can generate some sort of income at least while I'm home with my baby. I know I would love to be able to generate enough income to help out with bills and for us not to struggle, so that I can stay home with my baby until she's ready to go to school. So we're talking like the next 5 years. Ideally, I do not want to be looking for a job, right? So what's the next best thing? Social media, right? So that's why back in September, I started really focusing when I barely lost my job. I really started focusing on TikTok and doing TikTok shop. However, that has not been going so well. However, I'm gonna keep posting, but there is a potential ban as well that's gonna happen in January, I believe. So with all of that, I'm just like, I need to be focusing on other platforms. And I'm choosing YouTube just because I know is one of those like best systems that has been around the longest as well. Their payment system, right? It's been longer than Facebook or Instagram, or I don't even know if Snapchat still has like a paying system. I don't know. I have not used Snapchat in like 6 years, I want to say. So I have no idea about Snapchat. So, and plus, this is a channel that back in 2019, 2020, I was working really hard to grow this channel, and I grew it to over 2,000 subscribers back then, and life just happens and I completely stop posting, and I regret that so bad. I regret completely just walking away from it and focusing on my job, and now I don't have that job anymore. So it's just crazy how life cycles back. And I don't know, maybe I'm just meant to create content online, and I'm like forcing myself to go get a job when I don't really belong at a job. Maybe, I don't know, to be honest. I just don't know. Yesterday I did share a little bit about my story in regards to losing my job and how we've been struggling financially since. since then. However, I know there's probably going to be like a lot of questions like, why don't I do DoorDash or Amazon Flex and those things. Believe me, when I first lost my job, my boyfriend and I were talking, and obviously due to my schedule, because I have to take my little one to school, bring her back, and so on and so forth, and then I have doctor's appointments. My kids have doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and so on. So my boyfriend was like, "What if you just like drive her Postmates or Uber Eats or DoorDash? You know, you can work a couple of hours, and then come home, go pick up the little one, and so on and so forth. Like, you're not gonna have set hours, so maybe that'll help out." Well, life is just, when it rains, it pours. And this year has been like, the best way I can describe it, it's like, I don't know if you can think of an image of like when you're so tired, you fall and you try to get up, but then you fall again. Like, that's exactly how it feels. Like, that's exactly how this year has been feeling for me, because it it felt like when I feel like I'm almost getting like up. Like, I'm like, okay, I can see things are getting better. Something else comes up. Then I feel like I fall down again. And then as I'm trying to get back up, something else happens again. And I'm just like, it was just like a never ending story, a never ending of like just going and going and going. And it's like, it's been rough for us. Back in, I want to say maybe February or March, they broke into, that's like the one of the first things that happened. Back in either February or March, they broke into my boyfriend's truck. He works in construction. He has a lot of tools in the back of his truck that, you know, he's been accumulating and buying over the years. So because he eventually wants to part ways with his company and kind of like start his own thing, they broke into his truck and stole absolutely every single piece of tool that he had. Obviously, he didn't have insurance for any of those tools, so that was gone. And then after that, can't remember what else. With our cars will always keep breaking down, right? And so when I lost my job back in September, I was like, okay, I don't want to keep hurting us financially, so I'm gonna go ahead and like start driving for either Uber Eats or DoorDash. The week, the week that I quit my job, that like that I came back from New Mexico after taking care of my mom, I want to say about 2 or 3 days after that, my car broke down. Like, my car broke down. So here's the funny thing, because my boyfriend's truck is an older truck, so he was like, what if we buy like a minivan or a van, something that's covered, and I can use that for work, so I can put my tools in there and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. So he found this used minivan on Facebook Marketplace. He was like, let's go pick it up. It's a great price. I can use that for work and stuff. So we drove like close to an hour to go pick up the car. It seemed fine. Everything seemed fine. He drove it back. As soon as we got back with it here, like, this was like almost an hour drive, the car started heating up. We were like, we just got this. And then he realized that one of the front tires, something was wrong with it. So then after that, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's better if we just talk to the guy that we just purchased it from and let him know, and if we can return it. He calls him. He's like, oh, well, it was fine when you took it. We were like, yeah, but we drove it for like over 40 minutes on the highway. Now it's heating up. He was like, give me your address. I'll go check it out tomorrow. I was like, I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, do you trust this guy? I was like, maybe we should just let him know he should come pick it up. We give him back the minivan. He can give us back our money and we're good to go. Well, the next day the guy came and I don't know what he was doing, trying to fix it or whatever. Then he kept doing the same thing. The next day my boyfriend calls him and he was like, and I told my boyfriend, I was like, maybe you should just return it. So the next day he told the guy, he said, hey, you know what, I don't want to be going back and forth with you in regards to this car, so why don't you just take it back with you and give us our money and we'll leave it at that. The guy was like, no, I can't do that. My boyfriend was like, we just got it like less than 24 hours ago. And he was like, yeah, but I already spent all that money. I don't have the money to give back to you. So then we were like, are you serious? And like this happens when you buy stuff off of Facebook Marketplace, right? So we were like, okay, so then what's gonna happen? The guy kept coming back. Like he came back like two other days, I think, to try to fix the car and figure out what was wrong with it. And he couldn't. So at last my boyfriend was like, I'm just tired of dealing with it. I'll just take it to a mechanic whenever I get the money. So we left it at that. We had the minivan that was like new, but it was not running. My car that had broken down, and we only had his car that was running. So the mechanic that we trust, because there's a lot of mechanics out here, but honestly, there's only one that we've been able to find over the years that is trustworthy, that we know, even though he charges like quite a bit because he's always busy, he fixes the car like well. We can trust like that he's gonna fix it. So he called the guy and he was like, hey, I'm so busy, I may not be able to come until like next week or the second week. And so I was just like, so how am I gonna go do DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like that if I don't have a car, right? So I was just like, I can't do that. So then I was just focusing on creating content on TikTok. And then right after my car got fixed, my boyfriend told the mechanic to come back like the following week to fix the minivan. My boyfriend's car got into a car crash. He was not driving it. His boss is actually the one that was driving it. He got into a car crash. The car was completely totaled. So then we were left with one running car and then the minivan that was still broken down. So the mechanic, thank God, came back the following week, fixed the minivan. Now we have two running cars. However, the minivan, he told us that there was something wrong with like something more that is going to be a little bit more expensive to fix. And so my boyfriend was just like, I think you're just going to have to like drive it, like to take the kids to school, come home, and like just like not too far from here, you won't be able to do Postmates or DoorDash because you're going to need to be driving far away. You can't be doing that right now. So then, yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like so hard to it's so hard, honestly. I look back and I'm just like, it seems like it was a really stressful year. It's just about everything that could happen happened to us. And the thing is like, the only thing that we can do is like wake up the next day and keep going. You know, we have kids, we have stuff that we need to do and stuff. And so I am so grateful that my boyfriend is like able to work and he's able to keep up with all of our bills and everything. while I'm trying to figure something out for me. And hopefully I can create something, either from here, YouTube or TikTok or something, so that way I can help out here around the house. Like, it has been challenging financially, relying on one income. But it's hard for me personally. I don't know about you, but I'm so used to being independent. I started working when I was 15, and I've been working ever since. I used to work prior to that, but only like weekends and summer breaks. I used to work in the fields, and I would get my own money. And when I turned 15 is when I got my first part-time job, and I've been working ever since. And not working and relying solely on just one income truly makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. Makes me feel like I could be doing better. That I could be doing something, generating